Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
And hello and welcome to episode 238 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers, all about scale models. Got a great show for you today. Going to have a chat with the crew from Models Without Borders to see what these guys have been up to in recent times. In the meantime, you can help support the show. Simply go to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from as little as $1 per week. Your support of the show helps us with our hosting and production costs and are greatly appreciated by myself and the boys. Of course, all fully paid Patreon supporters get an OTB sticker and of course go into the running for the Patreon Wheel of Fortune. Always some great prizes and giveaways there. Alright, before we start the show, how about we have a word from our wonderful sponsor, the Scale Model Supply.
Are you looking for top quality paints for your next project? Then look no further than the Scale Modeler Supply. Hi, I'm Scott, and as a passionate modeler myself, I've spent years creating the SMS product range, designing them specifically with a scale modeler in mind. We've worked extensively to develop our acrylic lacquer paint range to not only be airbrush ready straight out of the bottle, but also to be very easy to use so that anyone of any skill level can create professional results with minimal effort. Just give the bottle a good shake, pour into your airbrush and spray at 15 psi. So dive into your next project with confidence, knowing that you're backed by one of the finest hobby paints on the market. Head over to our website scalemodeler.com.au to check out our full range and to find your closest retailer.
And hello and welcome to the show. And in the studio, I've got Ian.
G'day Dave, Julian, g'day everyone else.
And Julian.
Good morning.
How are we all, gentlemen?
I'm good.
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
What's been happening?
Nothing much on my end as usual.
Nothing much.
Nope.
I'm painting things, painting car bodies
Lovely.
and then putting them back in their boxes. That's what I've been
You're doing
up
more
to.
than me.
Yeah. So I've got they're in sort of various stages because I've been pretty lazy. Nowadays when I get off work, it's just about to get dark.
Yeah.
And so I just sort of get home. You waste a bit of time and you look outside the window and you're like, oh, it's already dark. Screw that. I'm not going back out there again.
Nah.
So, I really should. It's the weekend, so hopefully I'll paint something. But it is pretty wintry at the moment.
Yeah, the weather's not the best, is it?
Nah,
for painting is a bit cool and damp.
Yeah,
It's not raining, but it just feels damp.
It's perfect
Yeah.
for modelling.
it's
You're sitting in your room and you're...
no. I'm painting. So I'm painting in the garage.
Well, yeah, well...
Yeah, I mean, you can paint in your room.
I can paint in my room. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
I can't do it when it's raining because I vent my paint booth out through the window,
It depends which way the rain's falling.
Well, it's westward facing, and you tend to get the rain coming from the west, so it sort of comes in through the little gap in the window. So the only time I can't paint is when it's really heavily raining.
Don't you have a thing to blank it off?
I do, but it doesn't go all the way up to the top. It only goes 3/4 of the way, so you've got a little gap to the top. And
You just need to make up a proper one.
I know I need to make a proper one, but I'm just...
Go for a run down to Bunnings, Dave.
Well, I've already got plywood that I
There you
use,
go.
and I've made a cutout for that. But then the plywood gets wet, so I've got to...
So paint the plywood.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Gosh, okay. All right.
there's ways around it.
Well, I'm building at the moment. I'm building the Artemis rocket by Revell. Go on, laugh it up.
I'll
Julian.
laugh.
it up.
They just slides to the
I'm
conversation.
Look, I am an enabler, all right?
I
So
know you are.
if
I know you are.
there's a way to do things better, I'll definitely suggest it.
I'm having an enormous amount of fun building the Revell 1/44 scale Artemis.
Artemis, yeah.
The issues I'm having at the moment, though, because
It's a big cigar.
it is, well, it's a big cigar, a couple of cigars on there, But the seams, I mean, as much as Revell have done a good job in hiding some of the seams on like the boosters and that, on the actual Orion ship itself, you've got nowhere to hide with some of these seams, and getting in to get rid of them without taking away detail is just really, really hard. So, interestingly, I also bought the Airfix 1/144 scale Artemis as well. So I plan to do the Artemis 1 and the Artemis 2 and have them side by side. And I thought I'd use the Airfix 1 to do the Artemis 1. So it should be interesting to see how the two build up against each other, which is the better one to build. So that's me at the moment, having a lot of fun sort of plugging away at that.
Very cool.
I've been posting on your bench, our Facebook page that we got for all of our listeners. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Very nice.
very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Dragon posted something recently,
Oh,
Yeah.
which
yes.
caused a huge amount of discussion online.
Very
Wow.
confusing post.
It was, oh my god, I don't know who their copywriter is for all
Or
this
the
stuff.
person who does their press releases.
Oh my god,
It'll be ChatGPT.
I had to read it about 3 times to figure out what the hell I was talking about.
So
You
what
know
are
what,
they talking
actually-
about, Dave?
Well, what I took away is that they're moving away from doing traditional
molding.
injection molded models to doing 3D models now,
Yep.
as in printing 3D.
But I saw somewhere, I don't know the name of the company, but some company's got, I think, at least half their moulds now.
Oh, really? So I've sold the molds off.
I would say so, yeah.
Sold some of them off.
So we're gonna get-
people are taking a overly optimistic view of it, because they clearly said that they haven't sold all of them to this company, and you don't know which ones they have.
No, that's true. And so we're going to get a whole heap of old shitty Dragon models being spat out.
So maybe 5 years from
overpriced.
now, people will be like, oh, Dragon used to make this model, and they supposedly sold the molds, but I can't. They still haven't released one. You know, it's like, what did you expect? I mean, they'll be complaining about the most obscure German vehicle known to man
Yeah.
that Dragon having to produce.
Where's me grasshopper?
Well, interesting business model. So 3D Wild, they do a lot of 3D printed stuff, mainly in ships, aircraft carriers, that type of stuff. You've actually purchased one, I believe. Ian.
I've got 2.
Yeah.
I've
so
got the Unio, I think it is, the fleet, the little Japanese escort carrier,
right.
and I bought the HMVS Cerberus.
Okay.
Another factor is that all those Dragon model molds were made for Dragon style
Styrene.
right? And usually when the molds change hands, they can't get the recipe quite right. You end up with some
Hang on,
Soft
wait a
details
minute.
or
short
short
shots.
shots or
That's just a setting on the machine that you're molding in.
whatever the reason, they usually can't get it right. Like look at the I bought Ian's Dauntless because it was an original accurate miniatures punch out rather than the one I
Italeri
built
one,
previously.
which was Italeri, because
Yeah.
Italeri did them.
Yeah, and it was nowhere near as good. I mean, they were worn out molds by then.
Yeah.
But there are also other factors that go into these sort of things. You can't expect any. I think you're gonna end up in a situation where things like all the track links that remember all the specific to Dragon type stuff that they were doing with tracks,
Yep.
like having rubber tracks that glue together with regular solvent glue.
Yeah.
That may go away. Remember they used to have all the magic tracks, which were
Yes,
the individual
tracks,
link
yep,
ones.
Yep.
And I think you might find that requires some finesse that the new company may not be willing to go to. So,
And I know with some of their ship models too, they already had like pre-bent photo etch.
oh, yes.
So you buy like a ship model and like it have like a gun casement that was photo etched, but it was already pre-bent for you in a little container.
And I built their Marta 3, which has that weird sort of thing that needed to be slide molded.
Yes.
You know, for the rear tray, it was sort of like holes that are on two different planes, and that was a separate sprue.
Yep.
Which means separate tooling, and you have to set up a machine that does slide molding for that. You know, it's like, well, how much of which one? Maybe that's a factor in which ones they took away and which ones they left on Dragon's table.
Well, I suppose it's just a matter of just waiting to see what actually comes out.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's that company that went belly up?
Wingnut Wings.
No. Panda Models was the armor model half, and the other half for aircraft. Well, you know, they did that the AH-1Z. And just before they went bust, they also did the Frogfoot.
Yeah. What was the name of that company?
I can't remember, but they were known for their diabolical bad engineering.
Yes.
And, you know, they went belly up, and some of the molds went to some companies, and, you know, people are still sort of waiting to hear and see those kits come out under different names, and it's all sort of murky. So, you know, you can't be too optimistic when these things change hands.
Just going back to what you said about the having a certain type of plastic dialed in for mold.
Yes.
You're partially right, but it's...
Yeah, well, look at remember the wingnut wings thing and how that went to the other...
Yeah.
And then they were like, we're having troubles punching out these canopies. And
but the molds don't care what sort of plastic you're putting into it. It all comes down to the temperature you're running the plastic at to get the viscosity that you need, as well as your clamp pressure on the mold and also your injection pressure. That all plays different parts and is more critical than indeed the type of plastic you're punching in. So
we all know the black plastic is the worst plastic.
Yeah, it's not the black plastic, it's the additive they put in to make it black. Because plastic, when it's made, isn't coloured. That colouring is the additive to it.
Right. I thought I was under the impression that all the black plastic was the recycled stuff.
Well, that's potentially true, and that's why they put the black additive in there to hide all the multicolored stuff in there. So yes, and you can put additives in there like binders and all that sort of stuff. You put other additives in to make the plastic UV stabilize, so that when it sits in the sun, it doesn't sort of perish away. So there's a whole heap of different additives you can put into plastic, and when you do that, you didn't have to compensate the pressure you use to inject, the heat of the plastic, the cooling on the actual molds. It's very complicated. Trust me, I used to do this stuff once upon a time for a job.
I believe you.
But go back to your statement saying it needs a certain type of plastic is not correct.
Yeah, you have to remember that a lot of these companies are a lot smaller than you think they are.
Oh yeah, 100%. And they subcontract out the manufacturing of it.
I imagine that a lot of them, it's like, oh yeah, this particular mold requires this particular temperature, and no one wrote it down.
Well, it gets down to quirks of the machines and how old the machines are, because I remember on the floor when I used to do it, you had particular machines that used to prefer to run at a certain temperature or a certain pressure.
Yeah. And the other company that they've sold it to has different machines.
Yeah. Good. You can start from scratch.
Variables.
And that other company is called Zimmy Model Technology Company.
Right. Okay.
And they're pleased to... I've got this special announcement here, and they're pleased to announce that Zimmy Model has acquired selected scale model kit and mould assets from Dragon Models Limited.
I'll laugh if it's just their Tiger tank.
Yeah.
Just give us the big ticket items. You can keep the rest.
Yes, it says that Dragon Models continues its evolution towards intellectual property, 3D technology, digital assets, licensing, and future creative applications. Moving forward, Zimmy Model will independently launch, operate, and manage the relevant product lines under its newly established exclusive brand, DRAMI model. That's DRAM and then a small letter I model. As part of Zimmy Models brand portfolio, DRAMI model has been established with the aim of carrying forward the spirit long associated with Dragon's classic model products: quality, fine detail, authenticity,
fluff,
respect.
Fluff, spirit.
Oh.
So one of the things that people have discussed heavily is that a lot of the talent behind designing those molds that Dragon had all those years,
They've probably gone to other companies.
they've gone to other companies,
Yeah.
and that's that. And they went to other companies quite a while ago, and that's how we got Takum,
Yep.
Meng, and all the other companies that sprung up in China.
Yeah.
Because
So,
Dragon Molds is Chinese.
Correct. Yes.
You know, I think when I was younger and less well informed, I thought that Dragon Molds would be Japanese.
No.
Because they made fairly good quality molds, right?
Yes.
And it's a dragon. But no, that's not the case. They're all in China. And I guess
I remember when they first came out, everyone just went bananas over it.
Well, if you remember, like Takum, Meng, and like a few other companies, they all sort of sprung up at the same time. Tiger Model.
Mm-hmm.
They all sprung up at the same time. So I'm sure it was, maybe a mass walkout.
It could have been.
They're like, I've been working with you guys since, before the economic boom, and haven't shown us any love, so we're walking out,
Well, the growth in 32nd scale aircraft is still continuing because AirScale Pro obviously have announced they're doing
AirScale, if it's AirScale, it's going to be good quality.
They're doing the Dornier 17Z in 32nd, and also Revell have just announced they're doing a Harrier GR3 in 32nd scale. So 32nd scale seems to be the sweetheart scale for 2026 for aircraft models.
It's just the scale where there's the least amount, where there's the most amount of unoccupied real estate.
Mm.
That's true, but there's so many coming out now. There's a Heinkel HE111 coming out in 32nd scale.
There's already been one out.
Well, yeah, there's a new one coming out just recently announced, wasn't there? Who's doing that one?
Don't know. News to me.
If you recall,
Don't really follow much on Luftwaffe.
with the 48 scale game, not 32, the 48 scale game, a lot of the twin engine kits never sold as well as people thought they would.
Yep.
And I wonder how it'll go, because we already know that, Tamiya's 32nd scale Mosquito was a big underwhelmer for them, and they were not happy about the sales.
Mm.
Well,
It was a lot of money, though.
I mean, these companies are pumping a lot of money into these new molds and everything for these aircraft, so they must have done their homework to figure that there's a market for it.
Mm.
Well, yeah, you can only do so much market research. At the end of the day, you're still taking some gamble.
Yeah.
I mean, there are multi-million-dollar movies that get made and they flop.
Yes.
That's true. But interestingly, have you seen the price for this AirScale Dornier in 32nd scale?
Oh, jeez.
£650.
Be over $1,000 here.
That's over $1,000. $1,200. $1,200 Aussie.
Yep.
That's huge.
It's a lot of money.
I don't think
I can't see him selling a lot for that.
it's unreasonable.
No.
I mean, let's go back and think about the 32nd scale Lancaster by the failed Wingnut Wings one that was resurrected by Border. That was around, I want to say, 500 Australian or 600 Australian.
Even that was considered pretty outrageous.
Well,
I paid. I'm trying to remember what I paid.
The only
which
reason
I haven't even got yet. I've got to wait another 3 years. Is for the Halifax.
You got to wait 3 years for that.
For the Wingnut
Off
the
Qatari.
Qatari Halifax. Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Well, they want to get it right.
Well, I know they want to get it right.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like to some degree, at that point, Wingnut Wings and obviously Qatari that came after them have established themselves as being peerless for quality.
You know what you're getting.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
And I don't know if
You-
you've
you
seen
will-
online the
No matter how
The
high your
post-pro-
expectations, they'll
They'll deliver.
be above it. You know.
I know a few people so far on Facebook have been posting their builds of the new Hurricane, the test builds. Geez, that looks nice.
It does.
That looks very nice. Can't wait to get mine.
The question is 650 bloody pounds
For a Dornier 17.
Like how? I mean, does the Dornier 17 even have the kind of fan base?
I always thought it was a great looking
justify that-
aircraft. I thought it was a beautiful looking aircraft.
Flying pencil
Yeah, it's look at that wing, the way it just molds into the
fuselage.
fuselage. It's a gorgeous aircraft.
It is pretty.
Totally useless, but it's a gorgeous aircraft.
Yes.
Good, the Spanish War, and that was about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much outclassed by the Battle of Britain, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Oh,
It's
dear.
cool enough, but I don't think it's got enough. I don't know how would you put it? Like it's not like anyone's dream build.
Or is it the Z or something with it, or is it the 217? The one
This is
where
the
they,
Z
the night fighter one where they had the 4 guns in the middle of the fuselage, like the Shrug music.
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't
Is that what
it
they did?
217 or something like
I
that?
don't know. I don't know. Was it the Dornier? They actually did that. for
Yeah,
Night Fighters?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
I'm not sure if it's the 17 or the 217. Well, I know I've seen. Yeah,
Well-
they look pretty cool too.
Either way, I think. I mean, if only we knew like how well there was a similar twin-engine bomber in 32nd scale that Revell did.
I was a 217 was a night fighter.
I think it might have.
Yeah.
No, it was one of the other. I always forget what the number is for the other German bombers. There's the HE 111. There's the Dornier 17. Oh yeah, Junkers 88.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Revell brought out a
Heinkel
36.
one. Was it that Heinkel with the four engines, 2 in each nacelle?
Oh yeah, the passenger plane looking
The
thing.
Grief 177,
Griffin,
I think it was.
Griffin.
Yeah.
In any case,
In any case,
let's overcomplicate something and make it so it catches fire very easy.
while we're recording the show this particular weekend, which is the 23rd, 24th of May, there's the Illawarra show is on at the moment. And,
Oh, cool.
we're getting some early photographs coming in now from our mate Craig Everson, who's taking some pictures of what's on the tables out there. It looks like it's a crack of a show, actually.
Yeah.
Very
nice
nice
builds.
Space 99 Eagle there in 48 scale, I want to say that is. It wouldn't be in 72nd scale. There's a nice car there for you, Julian. Look at that pink Tirana in the background there, the early Tirana. Looks beautiful.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was an
a
LJ.
Ford.
X-Y.
the way Dave talks about car models.
It's funny, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Oh, there's a car for you, you know.
It's like me trying to explain brain surgery.
It's like someone's grandfather saying, "Oh, you know, there's one of them whiffy waffy things that you're into, you know, grandson.
Yes.
One of those quaint things."
It's your Tamagotchi thing.
Yeah, that's a great way. Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Oh, God.
Yeah, plastic junk from Japan.
Your toys.
Anyway, we hope all the people up there on the weekend are having
It was a cracker of a
real
show.
kung fu weekend. And,
Kung Fu.
yeah. That's
So-
reference to an old Red Gum song when they were live on stage. Everybody have a kung fu weekend, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bit before Julian's time, and Ian wasn't into that type of music back then.
Sometime before the before last century.
You know, back when everything was in sepia tone.
Oh, geez. Here we go.
Yeah.
We've got some emails coming in, so let's have a look
Yeah,
and
good idea.
see what's happening out there. So Dermot Crowley writes in, "Hi boys, thank you for your advice on things to see in Japan. By the time you read this, I will be there and have lots of modelling activities planned now.
Cool.
My wife has told me there is more to Tokyo than modelling shops.
No, there's not.
Lies!
No, there's not.
I know she is right, There are also knife shops too.
Knife shop.
Yeah, don't forget all the wonderful Japanese food. In preparation for the trip, I cooked a Japanese meal, which is my other passion.
It's like the only Japanese meal.
The entire combined my love of cooking. So he's taken a photo, and he's combined his love of modelling with his love of cooking Japanese food. And what he's done, he's made some sort of raw fish meal there, sashimi, and he's used a pipette, which he's loaded up with, obviously, the sauce that you pour over the top. And that's quite funny, Dermot. Very
Done a
funny.
good job there, mate.
And
enjoy your trip, mate.
Yes. So he'll report back on his travels, and we're really looking forward to hearing how his trip to Japan went.
Yes.
How much money he spent and what he purchased.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of photos of who's our friend that's going to Japan?
Chris Meddings.
Chris Meddings.
Yes. He's at the show.
Is Chris Meddings going to the show this year?
Yeah, he's there at the moment, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, he messaged me and he's like, "Oh, are you going?" I said, "No."
No, catch up another year.
All right, Ray Davis writes in, hello, Dave, Ian and Julian and Benches. I hope you are doing well. Just want you to read out this shout out for the following. So they're calling on any local Sydney RSL New South Wales members, their children, grandchildren and loved ones to extend a warm invitation to a sub-branch funded 6-week plastic model aircraft basic building workshop to be held at the William Billy Wright Hall in Oatley. So the details are, it starts Thursday the 28th of May. It starts at 5:30 p.m. The sessions run for 1 hour. It's a 6-week course, for want of a better word. And as I said, it's held at the William Billy Wright Hall, which is 25 Latita Street in Oatley, New South Wales. The model supplied the Supermarine Spitfire, some experienced instructors and model makers with many years' experience there to help you and guide you through the building. There's going to be nibbles and refreshments provided each night, probably a Subway or a pizza, and you get to keep your model and take it home at the end. So it's limited to 15 spots only for RSL New South Wales members only. So if you wish to attend, please email the sub-branch at, I'll spell this out, OATLEYSB at rslnsw.org.au. Spots are limited, so get in there. Thanks very much, Ray.
And good luck with that, mate. Yeah,
Looking
that's a
forward
great
to it.
idea.
So, yesterday, I bumped into a co-worker from a while back. Hadn't seen him in like years. And the last time I spoke to him, he was raving on, "Oh, you got to go to Japan. Oh, you got to go to Japan. Oh, yeah, me and my wife went and we loved it." And then so I caught up with him, and he's been back there like 6 times since then. I'm like, "Jeez." And he's telling me, "Oh, have you been to this? Have you been to that? I've been to this city. I've been to that city." He's been all over the bloody country over there. And he's telling me about, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that." And I'm like, I've got no interest in any of that stuff, dude. I've got zero interest. Like, I just want to go to the hobby shops. I just want to, hang out with my friends over there and, pretty modest stuff.
Well, comparatively speaking, Japan's been rather cheap for the last 12 months since.
Oh, yeah, that's one I was
a lot of Aussies going
yeah.
there. So the yen's been on a parity almost with the Aussie dollar, and flights have been discounted, and there's been some great deals going on. You can get to Japan and back for about $800 if you look around.
Yep.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard from people that I know that it's that the tourism is just like booming over there.
Yeah.
And like everyone's over there, and it's kind of like overcrowded almost, and it's like that puts me off, because I don't like waiting in queues. I hate queues. I'll rather eat like bad food than sit in a queue and wait for good food.
Yeah, I don't queue up for anything. So no.
But he was saying that, oh no, because of the tiffs between Japan and China, there's they've drastically reduced a lot of the flights, and there's nowhere near as many Chinese tourists, which is if you know Chinese tourism is huge across all of Asia. They all depend on Chinese tourists almost. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's not as busy. And he's like, yeah, it's not as busy. Well, okay.
It's like these, burger joints like In-N-Out have pop-ups out here in Australia. There's no way I'm standing in a line for 20 minutes for a burger. As much as I love a burger, I don't love them that much to stand in the line for half an hour.
I tell you what, I had to wait a few times, like 30 minutes when I was younger.
Yeah.
My friends would go, oh, let's go out to this steakhouse, and you end up sitting there waiting forever, Well, it feels like forever. And you were hungry when you got there.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait 30 minutes.
And you can smell the food.
Screw that. I'm not waiting in line.
The last time I lined
patience.
up was back in the 90s when Microsoft used to release their latest Windows 95 or something like that. And well, I remember standing in line at 2 a.m. in the morning to get the first copy, and so you could race home and load it up on your computer.
I don't like it when I have to go to restaurants. I don't like it when I would never wait for it with regards to electronics. Going to Model Expo, and there's that big long line that you have to get into the swap and sell.
Yes.
Screw that. Screw that. I'd much rather turn up late and have slimmer pickings, and likely the things that I want have already been sold. I'd rather deal with that than be in a queue.
Yep.
I agree.
That's how much I hate queues.
Yep.
And airports are all queues. Right?
Well, that's true.
Unless you fly business class, then you get to cut queues. So
No,
Yeah.
you can cut some queues, but you can't cut them all unless you're a pilot.
Yep.
the sad demise of Dragon Models. Owen Dawson writes into us. G'day, Ian, Julian, and Dave. I'm writing about the sad news. I wouldn't call it sad news necessarily. Sad news: the Dragon model seems to be getting out of the plastic injection molded kit manufacturing game. Get your teeth around that, Dave, which I did successfully. So there you go, Owen. From what I can work out, Dragon press releases, which is about confusing as instructions, as we've already spoken about, it seems as though the only way to obtain their kits in the future will be through a licensed production run from another brand. To my knowledge, Dragon haven't produced any new kits for a number of years. They have been responsible for producing some fantastic kits over the years. And of course, we won't mention the not so fantastic ones. Whilst few modelers will miss their instructions, we have to give credit to Dragon for raising the bar in the early 2000s for the detail they put into the armour kits, which went well beyond what had been seen before. Mm-hmm. And I'll also say that they used to do some model ships in 1/350 scale that nobody else was doing, which I've managed to grab a few of those.
They do some stunning ship models.
I would go as far as to say that the current popularity of armor modeling would not be there if it weren't for Dragon.
Definitely,
and what they put into it.
Mm. On top of the plastic, the fantastic Ron Volstad box art, which adorns many Dragon armor and figure kits, can also not be overlooked, as Mr. Volstad is responsible for putting a considerable dent in my bank account over the last couple of decades. And his artwork is without doubt my favourite in the genre due to its inspiring diorama-like animation and storytelling. I hope Dragon can use their licenses of Mr. Volstad's paintings to produce a book of his amazing box art. That's a good idea. Which would make a fitting bookend to their contribution to scale modelling armour. Farewell, Dragon models. You will be missed. All the best from Owen, north of Wales in UK. P.S. I think Ian has referenced building Dragon kits in years gone by. Did you have a favourite or worst model Dragons kit, Ian?
Oh, favourite or worst? I don't know. I don't think I've had a Dragon model. I've built a few Dragon models, but I don't think I've ever had one that's given me too much of a hard time. Favourite, I'm not really sure. It would be probably one of my Dragon ships, I'd say, because they're really nicely detailed.
The best one I've built, probably, because I haven't built that many, would probably be the SDKFZ 234. Like the Puma.
Yeah.
I built
the
all of them.
8-wheel ones. Yeah. You built about 3 of them, didn't you?
Yeah. And that was a very nice kit.
Because I've got their Puma kit, And that's a stunning looking kit. It's so detailed.
Yep. And the way that they were able to engineer it so that they could do all the variants is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
On the downside, the worst kit that I ever built from them would have been the Sexton.
All right, yep.
That was the one with all the weird fit issues and stuff around the back, and all the rear deck was just completely bogus engineering. You know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. None of the parts fit together the way they're supposed to.
Oops.
Like things are different lengths and different widths relative to each other, and it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you're like, how am I supposed to get this to fit?
Oh, really? Oh, jeez. No, I haven't come across that yet. Not to say I won't, because I've got a ton of Dragon kits in the stash.
I can't say I've got a favourite, or I can't say I've got one that I despise. So
Well, have you built that many?
I don't know. I probably haven't. You know.
It's probably like only the ships that you've built, right? You haven't built any of the armor, have you?
No, I reckon if I go into my stash and open up the Dragon ships that I've got, probably, I think I've got about 5 of them there, and I think from memory 2 of them are in half construction, because I bought one. I think it was USS Radcliffe or something like that, and the hull had this awful twist in it, and I've been struggling to get that
Taken out of the
twist
mold too early.
Yeah, cooled incorrectly, correct. So trying to get that out, I was using hot water and everything, and I can't remember whether it's successful or not, because I obviously haven't finished it, so I should go back and have a look. All right, let's move on.
Yes. Thanks for that, mate.
Shane Hibbard writes in, how hot is too hot? Hi, Dave, Ian and Julian. Shane Hibbard here from sunny Perth, long-time fan of the show. Over the last decade or two, I have acquired a large stash and a reasonable number of completed models, with a number of these being 1/24th to 1/32nd aircraft and 1/350 scale ships. And now space is becoming an issue. Not Dave's real space, but my physical storage in the spy space.
Yes, I know the feeling.
I have transferred the bulk of the stash into the corrugated steel shed out back, which is clean and dry, so I'm not concerned much with the plastic in the kits, but being mindful that Perth gets pretty hot during summer, oh boy, does it ever, would you be comfortable with decals staying in the kits? More so the completed models stored in the shed. I recall Julian way back mentioning that photo etch railing coming off models, no, that was me talking about that, as the plastic and brass expands with temperature at different rates. And I'm also worried about adhesive ship decking. Will they more likely to lift off the models? Do you have any thoughts on the long-term health of box kits, and more so the completed models stored in a metal shed?
Well, if it's a metal, depends how big the metal shed is, but you just go down to Bunnings and get some of that stick-on insulation.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yep.
First,
if it was a small like garden shed, yeah, definitely stick-on insulation.
Block
probably wouldn't be a bad idea to take the decals out and put them in a folder, keep them indoors. Yeah.
But the finished models are a different issue.
Yeah, the finished models, yeah, you definitely want to keep them at a constant temperature.
Yeah, I mean, Perth, you get into the 40s there, and you get consistently hot days running, weeks into each other. Yes, you get the winds coming off in the evening offshore, but by and large, I wouldn't be comfortable storing it, like you guys said, in a tin shed without any sort of insulation in that particular shed. And even then, the temperature's still going to get up in the shed.
Oh, it's going to get up even higher than what's outside on a hot summer's day.
Yeah.
It's going to get really, really hot. I'd be, like I said, definitely be looking at getting some stick-on insulation from Bunnings. Probably costs you a couple $100, but it's at least it's peace of mind.
I would probably throw some more at it as well. That would be the bare.
Yeah, maybe
bare
if you got all your kits in boxes, or you built stuff in boxes, get a space blanket or something and drape that over the top to try and negate getting the heat on there. Because I'd be more concerned about everything getting like in the shed. You're going to get up to 50 plus degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
And that's enough to pretty much puddle your kits.
It's not direct sunlight though, so
Yeah, but still it's heat.
Yeah.
It's heat. You're going to get warpage. You're going to get glue coming apart.
Oh, on your finished ones, you definitely are.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
And I've even be concerned about the unbuilt kits.
Well, so my parents have a garage that's made out of concrete blocks, and it's got a tin roof.
Yep.
And there is an similar sort of insulation layer, that thin silvery stuff that goes between the what do you call them, the wood girder things.
Yeah.
Roof truss.
And the trusses and the tin roof. And that stays pretty cool even in summer.
Oh, does it really?
So it's like really it doesn't even need any.
But it helps. But yeah, I think your walls are made of cinder blocks, aren't they?
Yeah,
so
they're cinder
concrete
blocks.
cinder blocks. Yeah, so that'd negate a lot of the heat.
And the other thing too, when you pop into Bunnings, is get one of those little freaking roof spinners.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
They don't cost all that much. You can easily install it yourself. It'll take you an hour or two to install.
Yeah.
And any hot air comes out and gets spun out through that.
Yeah.
And basically, you got to try and basically just negate the heat building up too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because,
and before you put any molds in there, I would heavily test it through a summer period.
Yeah.
You know, keep your temperature, keep a monitor on the temperature, have a thermometer type thing going on in there.
Yep.
Because you can't afford, just one day could wipe out all your kits, dude.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying you can't do it. You just have to do it right.
Yep. Yeah, so, that's the way I'd probably look at it. Insulation, roof spinner, and if just the double shore, just buy one of those space blankets and stick that over the top.
Using my parents' old garage as an example, that thing is ice cold even in the middle of summer, and I would be happy putting my molds in there. So it's not like it can't be done. You just have to do it the right way.
Yep, totally agree. Hopefully, Shane, we've given you some ideas.
Hope so. Or build an extension to your house. Or build a granny flat.
Or build a mansion. Build a pyramid.
Yes.
Frank Blanton writes in, greeting podcasters. Just want to drop in and say how much I enjoyed listening to your episode number 235.
Which one was that again?
Oh, that's what we were talking about. We had Kentucky Dave on and Mike.
Oh, talking about if you had a ton of money. Yep.
If I won a substantial lottery, I certainly would build a place for our local AMPS chapter, Central Virginia, to meet and host small shows. Also, a nice, well-lit building room with some amenities for airbrushing, etc., etc. Also, a nice, well-stocked cocktail bar with local IPA beers, stouts and lagers. Oh, thank God he said lagers. Scotch whiskey would be the centrepiece on the booze front. I like where you're going with this. This is a great idea, Frank. I think I'd be there with you, right there with you. Enjoyed hearing Mike and Kentucky Dave talking all things hobby. And I must agree with Julian that wrecking all those awful AMT molds would be a great service to my auto and large truck builder friends. Good Lord, how long must that segment of a hobby be underserved? I realise that round 2 is trying to release a few kits from cleaned up molds. In closing, I'd like to say that was a fantastic idea about doing episodes that coincide with scale. An episode for us 135th scale armour and figure modelers would be titled 135th Armour and Figures, the Gentleman's Scale. That's all from me. Keep up the great podcasting. Cheers. That's Frank Tank Blanton. Scale modelling, a hard hobby for soft men.
That's great.
That's good.
Well, I've got to say that the idea of we've missed that boat because we're in episode 236, 37 now, and I wish I had thought of it earlier. So episode 172nd would have been a fantastic chance to talk about 72nd scale, nothing but, or episode 135, 135th scale.
Yeah,
we could have done. We could have had, I know.
Yeah, but we can also talk about that stuff anytime we want.
True. Well,
and have.
Another couple of years we can do a 1/350th scale ships.
There'd be a few years ahead of that one, mate.
Oh, imagine one to get to 1700.
For you.
Oh, geez, it'd be another, our rate be another 20 years.
Yeah.
I think we'd be pushing up daisies.
I
by
think we
then.
probably would be, Dave.
Thanks, Frank. Let's have a look. This one comes from Mr. D. Christie, who has got a new scale modelling hobby club, which has opened up. It is called the North Shore Hobby Club, and it's a community for people to come together and build models. It's on the last Thursday of the month at 6 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. at Creation Space. You can access makerspace equipment, including laser cutter and 3D printer, to add dimension to your scale model builds, or have small projects and have a conversation with like-minded people. You can drop in with no booking required. So it's at Creation Space in Mossman Library. All scales and genres: figure painting, plastic, wooden, scenics, railroad, RC, and animation. As I said, it's at the Mossman Library Creation Space, which is at 605A Military Road. So you can bring along your next project. And it looks like a really, 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 really lot of fun to pop in and see these guys. And so I'm always thrilled to hear of a new model shop opening, or indeed, even more importantly, a new club opening up. So North Shore Hobby Club. Very good. Good on you, mate. I hope that all works out well for you.
Yes, definitely.
All right, that's it for emails in. Of course, if you want to send us an email, you can. The address is onthebench64@gmail.com. We love hearing from you, so send us an email on the bench onthebench64@gmail.com.
That's the one.
Let's spin the Patreon Wheel of Fortune to see
who's
who
the winner.
wins a fantastic OTB t-shirt. And the winner is going to be Michael Smith.
Congratulations, Michael.
Why does that name ring a bell?
Not sure, Dave. Why?
I don't know.
Well, Smith is one of the most common
names.
surnames.
Yeah. Mike, I'll reach out to you and send you an email, and we'll organise
Get your size and-
t-shirt
yep.
out. Yeah, all that good stuff. All right, we've got a great interview coming up with a couple of guys from Models Without Borders to catch up on what's been happening in Models Without Borders and talk about the recent virtual model exhibition that they had. So really keen to find out all the guff about that. So I'll be back very shortly. And g'day everybody, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Tim Holland, also known as El Presidente, who's joining us to talk about Models Without Borders, because Tim is the actual president of Models Without Borders, and full disclosure, I'm also part of the board as vice president as well. So just to put that out there. Tim, g'day, welcome to the show.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's morning for us, but not for you, Tim. Is it?
I know, but I'd like to pay attention to that.
And we've just also been joined by Bruce Worrell, who is Vice President Exhibitions for Models Without Borders. G'day, Bruce. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I know you guys have got your coffee, and in my case, no caffeine at this time of day.
No.
A bit late for that.
Yeah, not past 5 o'clock for me.
Nope.
Otherwise, I'd stay up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
Might get a little bit of modeling done if I had some coffee, but
what you building at the moment?
I'm building a Shinano 1/700 scale.
Ooh. Aircraft carrier.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
the Tamiya kit. In fact, today at our Friday group build at the airport, I brought the air wing and was painting all the Japanese aircraft that I'm going to put on it.
You going to have the deck fully loaded, or?
Well, I'm going to put what would be half of the air wing that would have been planned for it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, only spent 10 hours, I think, at sea.
Yeah, before she was torpedoed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, the Archer fish took her out 10 hours after she got underway. So, talk about a waste of manpower and machinery.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But then again, it speaks to how overwhelmingly powerful the U.S. Navy subforce was in World War II. A lot of people don't realise how effective it was, and it really strangled Japan during World War II, certainly the latter half of World War II.
Yep.
And they operated off, there's a huge submarine base in Western Australia down in Fremantle.
Correct.
And,
That's right.
They used to do sort of
Garden
refurbish-
Island.
And yeah, they used to do. In fact, the slipways are still there now, right next to the Maritime Museum. If you go down there, you can see the slipways where they used to bring the subs up to overhaul them and everything.
Yep.
It's incredible. But that we digress. We're not really talking about World War II history. We should get on with talking about Models Without Borders. But I can't let you go without talking a little bit more about the model you're building. So you're going to do it as a
Full hull of water.
full hull in water, or
No, it's going to be waterline.
okay.
So yes, and I've got the base is basically going to be simple. It's going to be underway with the air wing ranged such that the cap is ready to take off, followed by the strike package.
And how are you going painting those aircraft in 1/700 scale? That makes me shiver just thinking about that.
Well, what I did was I put a base coat on it of a very dark gray, and then followed that up on top using the AK3 Gen acrylics, and I'm brush painting, and that's the only way to do it, in my opinion.
Wow. Okay.
Because if I tried to airbrush and mask and all that kind of stuff, by the time I got through masking, I'd be insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tom, welcome to the show. We've got you on because I want to do a catch-up on Models Without Borders and see where they're at, what they've been doing. Last year, of course, Models Without Borders held their first international model exhibition, which was VMX 25. Do you want to step us through that and how that went?
Well, we had that was in, I believe we started in July, and the objective was to finish either right before or right after the U.S. Nationals. And unfortunately, we had a bit of a glitch with the servers. We didn't quite figure it out, but we got it working well enough that I think we had 120 plus modelers that entered their models, and they were judged, and that's been completed now, and we've gotten the awards, and the awards are being sent out, and about half the awards are going to the U.S. and the other half are going to the rest of the world, which is pretty good participation. I was hoping for a little bit more international participation, and I think it turned out pretty well.
Certainly, the comments I've been reading online, a lot of the people were very happy with the results and everything, and the awards that came out. So they were poker chip awards done in gold,
Yes.
silver, and bronze.
That's right, and each one is bespoke to VMX 25, so it's unique. And we also made sure that each award shows what level that the entrant their model was placed. So if it's beginner, intermediate, advanced, it'll reflect that.
Some of the challenges that the exhibition had was because we had international judges all lined up. There were some time challenges, I think, getting all those judges together to sort of complete the judging for the particular categories.
It was, and then unfortunately, life being what it is, some of them couldn't participate because other people were delaying things, and it just cascaded just a little bit.
Not the outcome we
would've
were
liked
looking
that.
for, though, but certainly a lesson that we've taken on board, ready for. Are we going to do another one, the VMX 26?
I'd like to. Where we stand right now is we're negotiating with a coder to give us a better product than we had last time. so that we can do this better on the technology side. And depending on what his timeline is to get it working, he's got a, I want to say, not, it's kind of hard to say a draft, and it's not really beta, but he's got a version that works, but it doesn't quite do all the things we want it to do. And so we're just negotiating with him in terms of how quickly he could get that working. But I would like to do a VMX 26, and this year do it after the US Nats. So it'd be mid-August at the earliest, probably late August. And we get that going. And the objective is to turn it around significantly quicker than VMX 25. And in my perfect world, the judging would be complete. The awards would be shipped out by the end of the calendar year.
Wonderful. I guess we should have, at the beginning of the interview, sort of just outlined for those people who don't know what Models Without Borders is. So how about you give us the elevator pitch for what Models Without Borders is all about?
Well, Modelers Without Borders is about celebrating modelers and models. It's not so much competition. It's more about, as I said, celebrating the art that modelers create. And the bottom line is that if you're building smaller versions of bigger things, then you're a modeler, and we want to be able to celebrate those and celebrate the people that make them.
And of course, it's all in the name, Models Without Borders. So you don't see any borders in regards to what you build, how you build it, or anything like that. It's all transparent.
Correct.
Excellent. What's the next step for Models Without Borders moving forward, Tim?
Well, we're working real hard to figure out how to bring in clubs and members. Membership would be fairly straightforward, and we can do it a couple of different ways. It's a little more complex if we do it internationally, only because of the potential local legal requirements that each country has. The U.S. doesn't like us collecting money and then turn around and giving it to other countries. So we got to be careful how we do that. And we're trying to work that out. And then we're also trying to figure out the details of how does a club affiliate with Modelers Without Borders. And ultimately, when they do affiliate, answer the question that's what's in it for them, right? Why would it be beneficial? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Same with the individual modeler. We want to make sure that they actually have benefit, and we're not just some organization up on high that collects dues and then you don't get much. You're certainly, whether it's a poorly written magazine or a sticker or something, we want to make sure you get real value for your money.
The last 12 months, we've seen the move towards Models Without Border Library Project, which is now started. Mm-hmm. Do you want to expand on that?
Well, that's an effort where what we're trying to do is curate existing information that's available on the internet and find the best of breed, if you will, for techniques, information, whatever, and have it in a single place so that as a member comes in and wants to learn about dry brushing techniques, we can set up a number of different links where they could then look at and watch specific videos of very good modelers online that show how to do dry brushing in multiple ways. And if we get it right, it'll actually be tiered towards skill level. So a beginner would see one version of dry brushing, but if they want it, they could also watch advanced. But it wouldn't be recommended that they try the advanced techniques right off the bat because they're probably going to be frustrated.
That's good.
So in layman's terms, really, it's just a sort of one-stop shop for people to sort of pop in and find out a whole heap. Instead of having a search all through the internet, we're hoping to bring something all together in one spot for everybody to be able to go to.
Exactly. And we've got a librarian and curators that they're going to be focused on different genre and different elements so that they know what they're looking for, as opposed to trying to have folks that just go out and watch a bunch of videos and say, okay, I think this is the best one. Instead, they'll know who the best people are that provide that kind of content.
One of the frustrations I have is because Facebook is used quite heavily now, and in a lot of respects, it's replaced a lot of the forums that we used to see. And I'll talk about forums in a little bit more detail in a minute. But the frustrating part of that is if you see something in there, it's hard to sort of file it away or come back to look for it unless you sort of save it there and then. It's hard to sort of come back and look for it. And the search function, well, let's face it, Facebook isn't designed as that, really. So doing a search function is really, really difficult. And so much good stuff gets posted on there. And I want to say a lot of good stuff gets lost on there simply because of the huge volume of data that's sort of going through and the way Facebook is structured and the whole reason for Facebook. So an initiative like this would be excellent. And once upon a time, it used to be the forums, but we've seen recently with the Ship Modelers Forum how that whole thing just collapsed.
Hacked. Got hacked, yeah.
I don't know whether it got hacked or what happened to it, but, tens and tens of years of information and data and pictures and were just completely lost.
Yep. Yeah.
And I know that they're making a huge effort to sort of rebuild that now, but even just the conversations within that forum, the conversations that was happening in there were all that information is gone now forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and the way things like that happen are usually tied to a server that wasn't updated, doesn't have the latest patches, and therefore it's got a vulnerability, or there's a 0-day vulnerability that suddenly pops up and somebody knows about it. But either way, it's a bad actor that had malicious intent and nothing more.
Yes.
There was also before that the situation with PhotoBucket.
Yes.
A lot of forums hosted all their images on PhotoBucket,
and then PhotoBucket changed.
Yeah. So many dead links.
Well, didn't PhotoBucket just get repurchased by another company who had a different business model?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Either way,
all I know is that it upset a lot of people.
Yeah, I had a lot of photos in PhotoBucket, and they were linked to my website and different forums. And unfortunately, when PhotoBucket came out and said, you either start paying this fee every month or we're going to dump your photos. And I just said, you know what? I'm not paying the fee just so that my comment with a picture to some forum suddenly still stays there.
Absolutely. Bruce, we've already had a chat a bit about VMX 25 and seeing that you're VP for exhibitions. I'm just wondering if you sort of want to expand upon how you saw VMX going this year and your hopes for future iterations of the show.
Sure.
Pardon, I shouldn't call it a show. It's actually an exhibition, isn't it? So I'll just correct myself.
It is an exhibition. Yeah, it's pretty important for us at MWB to look at any event where people are presenting their models as first and foremost an exhibition, and for us, evaluation of models, judging, if you want to use that word, is really secondary. And so it's exhibition first and foremost. So VMX 25, from my perspective, I think it was a qualified success. We had good participation. We had, I think, a pretty enthusiastic group of entrants and judges. We had a few hiccups, obviously, the first time we've done this, and to be honest, it was a very, I'll say low-tech approach to kind of getting things off the ground. But, as our first time and really kind of a proof of concept, I think that was acceptable. We regretted some of the delays that were associated from a technical perspective, from a judging perspective. But I think at the end of the day, we got where we needed to get in terms of trialing our evaluation system. It's a bit of a novel system, I think, as we've talked about on other podcasts before. Taking kind of cherry picking the best of a lot of different exhibition systems or evaluation systems, and really trying to, come up with a system that really provides flexibility to entrants, to exhibitors, and also gives the judges, a solid foundation to do a consistent job evaluating things. So from that perspective, I think VMX 25 was a success. Did we learn things? Absolutely. We learned, and I think Tim will agree. We learned that Microsoft Excel is not the tool of choice for judging or evaluating thousands of models. But that said, again, the point was not to prove or disprove the value of a specific tool. It was really to just kind of put our system through the paces. And I think from that perspective, we learned some good lessons. We got some really good, solid feedback. I mean, we were very lucky. We had a world-class stable of judges helping us evaluate models.
Yes.
Like, just, I was one of those judges.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, we had freaking Calvin Tan and Young Song and Jeff Feller and, Ivan Cocker and Robert Blocker and all of these world-renowned modelers and people that judge at some of the biggest shows on the planet agree to help us out, right? And that's I'm leaving people out, and that's not a slight to them, but
actually, you're leaving out the biggest name. That's Julian.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. And I think Julian, carried the automotive category on his back for the most part. No, I'm kidding.
That's going a bit far.
But it was interesting too, because as we brought these judges on board and I did these, we did meetings with them, and holy cow, time zones suck. I will say that.
Oh yeah.
I went through like a week and a half period where I was doing meetings at, my time, 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. and middle of the afternoon. But it was really valuable too, to get all of these different perspectives, because MWB is about uniting modelers of all genres, and to get the different perspectives from car modelers and Gundam modelers and armor modelers and aircraft and figures and dioramas and all of these different classes that we brought into the fold for VMX was just so valuable for us to get insight into these different communities. Wargaming minis, like, holy cow, that's a whole community unto itself. Railroad. And to have these judges come on board and give us their perspectives and kind of, agree to come into the big tent, I guess is, a phrase we've used before for MWB.
I think, Bruce, that's one of the most powerful things that I thought about VMX 25 was that you didn't have to leave your basement to expose yourself to these world-class people who were adjudicating the exhibition.
Yep.
You and if you win a gold or a silver or a bronze award, you go away knowing that within your category, you've probably got the world's top modelers for that particular genre who looked at your piece and said, yeah, this deserves a bronze. I mean, and there you are, you're sitting in your little basement down in Tasmania or somewhere like that, and you haven't had to spend $3,000 to go a plane ticket to fly all the way across Europe to have your model judged by these people.
Absolutely. And I think hopefully that the people that entered their models really found that kind of validation out of the experience. At the end of the day, it's an online exhibition, so it's hard for it not to be a photography contest or a photography exhibition as opposed to a modeling exhibition. Because the judges can only evaluate what they see. And this is something I went through with them during all of these, pre-evaluation meetings. They are working under an additive system. So they award points based on what they're able to see and what they observe in the photos. It's really difficult for them in some cases. And I got a lot of feedback from them, different judges, that they really were challenged in some cases to try to reward the modeler, because we're not about penalizing. We don't take points off.
Yeah.
We add points on based on what the judges see and as they're evaluating. And it's sympathies to the entrants, because not everybody's a photographer, not everybody has daylight neutral light sources and things like that, but for what they saw, I think we had a really good result in terms of rewarding those modelers that entered for good work. And I can't say enough thanks to the judges for their volunteering their time and their expertise. In some cases, they helped us develop or evolve our evaluation system based on their expertise. Right? I mean, Calvin and Young and Ben Flood for figures, they helped us develop our evaluation rubric on the figure side. Same thing for dioramas. Robert Blocker, Jeff Feller, and Ivan Cocker. We worked back and forth and developed our rubric for dioramas. So to have that expertise contribute not just to evaluating the models for VMX 25, but actually to help us come up with a system that we think really properly rewards modelers who step up and create something really powerful, I think was really just incredible. It was an amazing experience for me to work with those folks.
I think, I guess Julian can sort of answer this too, because he was one of the people who was assisting with evaluations. Mm-hmm. From your perspective, Julian, so you were sort of thrown into a team where some of the best car models from around the world were adjudicating. How was that from your perspective, being able to sort of talk?
It was pretty intimidating at the start. I mean,
you did great, Julian.
I do remember the sort of split between the sort of beginner, intermediate, advanced type stuff, and there was a lot of really good models, and some of them were very typically, because I was doing automotive models, some were very typical and some were very atypical, and you're sort of like, oh, how am I supposed to judge that against, not against, but, within the borders of what you would normally consider automotive.
Yeah.
And then as the way, because it was done via a spreadsheet, my preferred way of doing it was I ordered them into the different, because it was all sort of just thrown in there, and they were all the different difficulty categories, and I preferred to work from the easiest ones all the way up to the more advanced ones.
Sure.
So that so I could get my head in that space, like, oh, these are the advanced ones, I'm going to judge them with that in mind, and I could sort of calibrate my brain to that level. And then once you were looking at them, you sort of saw like the photography improve as you went down the page, and and the skill set improve. And
well, just speaking of the photography side of things, because it can be a two-edged sword, because the camera doesn't lie, does it? And
it can.
It can if you're good at stacking photos and all that sort of stuff and technical
not just
side.
that.
But photographs, even just on your iPhone, when you take a photograph of a model, it can show up issues that I didn't even know I'd had on the model. So it gives me a chance to go back.
I've definitely experienced that myself.
Yeah.
There are also ways to dodge your faults, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like, we've all taken photos of our models at some point in time, and we all know that there are, for example, on the box art of some of the kits that we've built, there are photos that are framed in such a way as to hide the faults of the kit.
Yeah, but
so these are sort of things where you sort of have to just accept that that's just the way the land is, and you can only judge by what you can see.
And the idea was to celebrate and the good parts of the model. You weren't looking to deliberately sort of look for faults anyway.
No, of course not. Yeah, I mean, there's every kit has its sort of different style.
Yeah.
Its own sort of, some of the automotive models I judged were almost in the vein of, say armored trucks and stuff from World War II type stuff. And, you can't sort of look at that alongside, say, a glossy sports car and then go, oh, well, one of them's clearly the lesser because it's atypical. That's not how the game's played,
Yeah.
You've got to see what they were going for.
So your interaction,
and then reward them for them achieving their goals,
interaction with the fellow.
Yes, because I've got I'm friends with Brian, who worked in the Gundam section
Brian
of
Dinkler.
molds, and I tell you what, he got a lot more molds than I did, a lot more. I had my hands full with the amount of car molds I had, and I would want probably, like, if I was to judge again, if there was, say, double the amount of cars, I would hope that I would only have to judge half of that somehow, because it was, it was getting to the, everyone wants to be the, oh yeah, it's all right, we'll just chip away at it, but you want to sort of do it all in one sitting, because that's how you get your head in the game for judging,
Sure.
You don't want to sort of have a different opinion one day to the next.
Sure.
And so, having to sort of set aside a day to judge it all was intimidating in itself. And I don't want to know how much more it would have been if I had more models to judge.
Mm-hmm. And to throw at the judges, not just, here's a bunch of models you have to evaluate, but also we're giving you skill levels, right? So now you have to be able to judge a junior and a beginner and an intermediate and an advanced. And talking about, Gundam Mecha, Brian and Mars and Ariel also had, this option that, beginners didn't even have to paint their models.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's part of that culture. And so, I think we really challenged, and Julian, correct me if I'm wrong, I think, we really challenged our judges to kind of get outside their comfort zone a little bit, or to maintain a really broad view, I guess, of the subject matter, because, we really want to respect the modeler's intent, as you said, Julian, and we really want to reward a modeler for achieving what they set out to do. And so that could be a model that, again, if it's a Gundam that isn't even painted, or that, doesn't have weathering on it, or does have weathering on it, or whatever. So I think that, and again, I won't put words in your mouth, Julian, but I think that probably put the judges outside their comfort zone a little bit compared to what they might have experienced at a physical show, traditional show,
But Bruce, you picked up on a word that I think we sort of need to maybe dive in a little bit more and explore. You said the cultural things. So if you go to a regular model show, not an exhibition, and everything that's entered is adjudicated from one point of view, whereas with VMX there was the cultural side of it that came into it. Which you've just mentioned, which was, we'll use Gundam as a discussion point, where they don't paint their models, and you've got 3 or 4 different, not categories, but different styles, I want to say, of building Gundams that each bring their complexities into it. And if you had taken those Gundams to a regular, everyday show. The same rules in regards to how you look at armour and aircraft would have been applied to those, completely wiping out and ignoring the culture of what Gundam builders do. Whereas VMX, Whereas VMX, I think it's a larger tent in which all those sort of different cultural differences are not only are celebrated. It's the whole point of the word Models Without Borders, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I guess it depends on the show. I've been to shows where they very deliberately, even, I think like Heritage Con or some other ones up here in Canada, they really try to respect the cultures of the different genres. But if you went to one of those shows, I mean, there might be, 10 different categories of Gundams, right? And we had one. we had one, and every Gundam builder fit into that class, and so again, I think it does kind of force the judges to kind of broaden their view a little bit and not be as compartmentalized about scale or about
absolutely.
perfect grade, master grade, whatever, painted, unpainted.
It actually, it's especially if you've judged before and you haven't judged in an open system, it can be quite difficult to wrap your head around.
yeah, absolutely. Because you're not looking for the best; you're looking for what the modeler tried to achieve, and you're evaluating it against a fixed standard. And I think that is the power of an open system or GSB exhibition. I mean, if I have my way in 10 years, we may have shows with no classes. It may just be chuck your model in there.
I think it inevitably has to go that way. Lately, that's how I've been thinking.
Ideally, the challenge though is to train a judge or to have a judge who can look at an armor model and an aircraft model and a Gundam and a wargaming mini and a mecha and an automobile and be able to understand what they're seeing and understand, I'll say the conventions, but the customs of that particular genre and really be able to fairly and equally evaluate a model from any one of those genres against a standard. That's a huge challenge to build a judging cadre that has that level of broad knowledge, I guess. It would be an enormous challenge, I guess.
I'm not saying it would necessarily all end up in one big single thing, but I think definitely within the different genres, like cars being separate,
sure,
and minis being different, because each of those have their own culture, and that's kind of what
they do.
Why you have those divisions. But we
had some interesting conversations. Within because we merged civilian and military aircraft into a single class. And there are dedicated civilian aircraft builders, I'm sure, that would hear about that and not be happy. We had talks about merging automotive and military vehicles because they're basically vehicles with wheels or tracks, and whether they're civilian or military should be irrelevant. But like you said, there is culture, right? There is a community built around those genres that may not quite be there yet in terms of their and same for the judges, right? In terms of their ability to kind of, as you said, look at a military wheeled vehicle and a shiny sports car and be able to kind of evaluate them.
But the whole thing though is you're assessing the individual model against itself.
Yes.
And looking to celebrate what the shiny parts of that model brings rather than putting it up against a different or somebody else's. Yeah,
for sure.
It's certainly. I mean, even I'm just thinking of a traditional sort of modelling genre like ships, for example, where even within that you've got the guys who like to do waterlining. You've got guys who
paper models.
Yeah, you've got guys who build to museum quality. That is, a pure model that is not stained or weathered in any way, shape, or form. You've got the wooden ship guys. They all throw all their stuff into, and then of course you got the size categories. 1/700, 1/2000, 1/350, 72nd scale, all thrown into the one. Well, you want to call it genre, but there's all these little sort of sub-variants within there.
Well, see, the way of thought is like you either go one way or the other. So you either go all ships under one banner, or at the same time, what we're doing is we're both recognizing that all ships come under one banner, but also each individual style is its own banner in itself, right?
Yep.
So you sort of have allowing for individuality in the same room.
Ships was a good example.
Rather than trying to herd people into different divisions, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, Ships was another good example. We were really lucky. We had Tony Levine, and she is, she's pretty prominent, I guess, what I would kind of call the old school ship modeling community, and it's the half hulls and the admiralty models and things like that.
Yep.
And she really challenged our initial approach to evaluating ship models because she brought that alternative viewpoint, I guess. I think a ship model, I think I'm going to buy like a 1-700 Flyhawk, whatever, Akagi or whatnot, Bismarck, and build it. And she brought that more traditional kind of old school ship modeling viewpoint. And again, a case of, I think we as MWB, and I think hopefully our entrants really benefited from these different viewpoints that this really, kind of luminary group of judges brought to the table and helped us understand their communities and their genres. So we were very lucky that way.
Yeah, and I just want to recap on that point again, how wonderful it is that there is an exhibition like this, so that the average Joe somewhere in the middle of Whoop Whoop can actually bring
that's an Australianism.
He can bring his model to these world class sort of assessors and for them to have a look at it. And I don't think certainly not since COVID, where there were some online shows. I don't think there's anything else like it in the world at the moment. You actually have to physically take your model to, a large thing like Monson or,
SMC
or AMPS or
The idea
like
of taking a model on a plane is pretty. I don't want to do it.
I've done it once.
I hate doing
It's
it.
pretty gutsy to pack it up and
Everything went well till we got to Phoenix.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure Canada's similar, where you've got people who are living really far north, and they can't come to a show.
North, east, and west in Canada too, because it's such a damn long country.
Yeah, and I think we had one listener who was living in, what was it, Vietnam or something like that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How's he supposed to attend a show?
Yeah.
Well, they got Malcolm. That's not that far.
Yes.
That's still a plane.
Yeah, still a plane too.
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable. Well, I'm excited to hear that certainly looking at working very hard at bringing VMX 26. I think that'll be fantastic for the people out there who are listening to this.
Yeah, I hope so, Dave. We're working hard to try to leverage, I guess, the lessons that we learned from VMX 25 and make it a better experience for the entrants, make it a better experience for the judges. But carry on with, I think, the central thing, which is the philosophy behind it, right? It's the big tent. It's, trying to bring together a world-class stable of judges and really give everybody anywhere in the world an opportunity, to have their work looked at and not have to hop on a plane.
Yes.
And not have to spend thousands of dollars to fly somewhere. Yeah.
Well, coming across to the US this year and also heading up to Malaysia in a couple of weeks' time, I can tell you it's not a cheap hobby when you start doing that on a regular basis.
No,
indeed.
Bruce, thanks very much. It's fantastic to hear all of that, and I'm very excited. So, in general, Tim, you touched on before that the organisation is looking to how to bring individuals and clubs into the fold. How far advanced are we with that?
Well, we're at the point where we actually have, I want to say it's about half a dozen clubs that we're talking to regularly, and basically going through all of the different things. And it appears that, interestingly enough, their initial interest is, how do we put on a show with the open system rubric, if you will, that we have, and take advantage of that perspective as opposed to just throwing a show.
Sure.
And so that's frankly, that's a positive. I view it as a positive that they're interested in that, and it's ultimately it's going to be more than just insurance, if you will.
For sure.
Yeah.
if people want to find out more about Models Without Borders, where can they go to chase that rabbit down that hole?
Well, there's two places at this point. There's our website, modelers.org. That's two L's, the international spelling. And then the other place is Facebook, Modelers Without Borders. We have a group there, and they can get in there and ask questions and have discussions. You can certainly leave comments on our website if you're not a Facebook person. And if you're part of some other social media and you'd like to help, I will certainly take it and let you be our, I guess they're called an admin for a particular, whether it's, I'm trying to think of the other ones, X or Reddit or Snapchat, or I'm doing this off the top of my head because I'm not familiar with many of these.
Discord, Instagram.
Yeah. So if you're an expert, a native to those where it's comfortable for you to use them, and you'd like to help, shoot us a note. Either on Facebook if you're there, or go to our website and you can fill out a little questionnaire.
And if you subscribe to Models Without Borders at the website, you get a regular newsletter that pops out as well.
Yeah, it usually comes out weekly and goes out to your email address. And so if anything gets posted there that's an update from us, then you'll get it that way.
And that
as a push.
Newsletter also has some great information usually in it as well.
Mm-hmm. It does, yeah. Things that our librarians have found around the world that they think that is of interest to modelers.
Excellent. Tim, Bruce, I'd like to thank you gentlemen very much for popping on the show today and giving us an update on Models Without Borders. I guess I'll catch up with you guys in August when I'm over there.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
No worries. Bruce, thanks very much for being on the show.
Yeah, cheers, gents.
No worries. Tim, thank you very much. And we'll catch you all
you're
again.
very welcome.
And, of course, anytime you've got some more news or new events or anything like that coming on, let us know. We'll get you back on the show to have a chat about it.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks very much, gents. Catch you. Bye.
See you, Dave. See you, Julian.
See ya.
Well, it was a great discussion with Bruce and El Presidente, Tim. Mm-hmm. It was good to catch up and seeing what's happening out in the world. And I'm not going to say, I know I'm biased saying this because I'm also heavily involved in Models Without Borders, but it's a really, really, really exciting and different and new sort of thing that we're trying here.
Yeah, it's still finding its feet,
Yeah.
So you can't.
No.
If you want to make a omelette, got to crack some eggs,
It does, and I've got to say, when we first started out, we had all these great ideas for doing this, that, and this and that, a lot sort of faster than. But things take a lot slower in real life when you're trying to do them, and given that we're all sort of got other things on our plate as well. It's
yeah, that's right.
But there's a great bunch of guys involved in this, so I'm really excited for the future as to how it's going to evolve and progress.
Mm-hmm.
Right, gents, that sort of brings us to the end of the show.
Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
No closing statements?
Adios
Closing
from me.
statements.
Adios from me.
Have a great time modelling,
Closing
guys.
statements.
I'm jealous of you all.
Well, you'll be back in a fortnight, so in the meantime, have a really great week, and don't forget to build what you love and love what you build. Catch you later, guys.
So.